Stop. 6 ships stopped in 72 hours without a single shot fired. April 15th, 2026. The biggest breaking development hitting us this hour is that United States forces have already turned back 6 Iranian-linked merchant vessels, mainly oil tankers, using nothing but radio warnings and pure, overwhelming American naval presence. No boardings, no shots fired yet. Just clear, professional, lethal United States sea power, making those captains think twice and reverse course immediately. Smart move on their part, because the United States Navy is not playing games. These ships were intercepted on approaches in the Gulf of Oman, all heading to or from Iranian ports. CENTCOM confirms the blockade is holding rock solid, with 0 runners getting through. Over 10,000 United States airmen, sailors, and Marines backed by more than a dozen warships are executing this operation with the kind of precision and dominance that defines American naval power. Meanwhile, non-Iranian commercial traffic continues flowing normally with over 20 ships transiting without issue. This is a targeted professional strike against the regime, not a blanket shutdown. American sea power is on full display, and the coming hours could reshape the entire United States-Iran standoff forever. This is a targeted professional operation. While a naval blockade is traditionally an act of war, Washington is framing this as a maritime enforcement action backed by existing international sanctions. This clever legal maneuvering has neutralized immediate backlash from the UN. As the US isn't shutting down global trade, they are simply seizing the assets of a designated terrorist funding regime. American sea power is on full display, and by operating within this gray zone of international law, the US is reshaping the rules of engagement forever. And now the decisive question: how long can this blockade really hold without escalation? One single mistake, and this blockade turns into an open war. Let me paint the picture for you. Chabahar Port, that strategic Iranian hub south of the Strait of Hormuz, has been the regime's desperate escape route for oil tankers trying to slip out. In the last 12 hours alone, multiple ships were turned back the moment they tried to leave. They simply were not willing to test the United States Navy. I do not blame them. Chabahar is packed with cargo ships, oil tankers, and dual-use vessels that the IRGC loves to hide behind. Iran builds everything with military potential in mind, so those fishing boats you see on satellite can suddenly become fast attack craft loaded with missiles. The regime has been frantically moving tankers and building pipelines to bypass the strait, dreaming they can choke the world's oil flow while still selling their own crude through secret routes. Economic sabotage at its finest, the IRGC acting like the mafia they are, ready to flip the switch and strangle global energy whenever it suits them. But the United States Navy just gave them a brutal taste of their own medicine. 6 ships turned back in 3 days. Pure presence, pure power. The captains heard that radio hail loud and clear. Iranian-linked vessel, this is United States Navy warship. You are entering a declared naval blockade zone. Alter course immediately or be fired upon. Every single one of them acknowledged and reversed course within minutes. No kinetic action needed yet, but the message was crystal clear. The United States Navy is deadly serious and the blockade is airtight. President Trump dropped a truth social bomb that sent shockwaves through the region. He announced China is very happy the United States is permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz for them and the world. The situation will never happen again. China has agreed not to send weapons to Iran. That includes the advanced man-portable air defense systems the IRGC was begging for. Beijing read the writing on the wall. Iran's military is already decimated, and the United States Navy is guaranteeing the strait stays open indefinitely. Trump said President Xi will give him a big fat hug when he gets there in a few weeks. They are working together smartly, But remember, the United States is very good at fighting if we have to, far better than anyone else. That is classic American strength talking, and it leaves the IRGC furious and isolated. And breaking right now, the United States is unleashing another supercarrier into the theater. The USS George H.W. Bush is already en route circling the southern coast of Africa to avoid choke points to reinforce this blockade. With the USS Bush on the way to reinforce the Abraham Lincoln, the pressure is ramping up. But critics ask, can the U.S. sustain this multi-billion-dollar operation indefinitely? The answer lies in the new logistics framework. Unlike the unpopular wars of choice in the past, this blockade is self-sustaining. By securing the strait for global partners, the U.S. is gaining logistical support from regional allies who benefit from the stability. This isn't just a 3-day stunt, it's a long-term siege designed to outlast the regime's crumbling reserves. The U.S. has the deep pockets and the supply lines to keep this iron ring closed for months, if not years, until the IRGC finally blinks. On the Iranian side, the hatred is boiling over. The IRGC has unleashed vicious rhetoric in the last 24 hours denouncing the blockade as straight-up piracy and an illegal act of war. Senior commanders threaten new methods of warfare that opponents would have limited ability to counter. They warn that if their ports stay threatened, no port in the Persian Gulf or Sea of Oman will be safe, extending the danger all the way to the Red Sea. They still claim they control the strait, but the reality on the water tells a different story. The United States Navy has flipped the script completely, and the regime is feeling the economic noose tighten around its throat. This is naval warfare at its most intense. United States warships positioned in international waters deliver firm bridge-to-bridge radio hails on international maritime frequencies. The message is simple, professional and deadly serious. Iranian-linked vessel, this is United States Navy warship. You are entering a declared naval blockade zone prohibiting all traffic to or from Iranian ports. Alter course 180 degrees immediately, or face being fired upon. If there is no immediate response, the follow-up warning is crystal clear. This is your final warning. Reverse course now, or you will be engaged as a hostile actor under rules of engagement. United States forces are authorized to use necessary force to enforce this blockade. Every one of those 6 ships turned around fast. The captains knew better than to test American resolve. The blockade is holding firm with overwhelming presence, more than a dozen warships and 10,000 personnel executing with flawless coordination. Non-Iranian traffic flows normally proving this is a precise, targeted operation against the regime's aggression while keeping global energy lanes open for everyone else. Let me ask you this right now as these destroyers and the Abraham Lincoln maintain their stations. Do you believe this blockade will force the IRGC to the negotiating table, or will the regime lash out with desperate attacks in the coming days? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we are only on day 3 and the pressure is building to a breaking point. The United States is playing 4-dimensional chess here. By blockading Iranian ports while keeping the strait open for everyone else, America has stripped away Tehran's biggest bargaining chip without crashing global energy markets. Here is the economic reality. While global Brent crude stays stable around $88, Iranian oil has become toxic. The regime is desperately trying to dump their crude at a 30% discount, literally begging buyers to take it for $60 a barrel. But there are no takers. Why? Because no insurance company or bank will touch a vessel that has to face a U.S. Navy intercept. The IRGC mafia bosses are watching their cash flow evaporate in real time. But don't think for a second this is just a walk in the park. If Iran strikes back, will the U.S. Navy be ready to take the next step? The IRGC is desperate. and a desperate regime is a dangerous one. We are talking about thousands of Iranian sea mines and swarms of fast attack suicide boats lurking just off the coast. But here is why the blockade holds the US Navy isn't just standing there. They've established a lethal kill zone defense. Advanced sonar is scrubbing the seabed for mines, while Phalanx CIWS and specialized drone killer systems are locked and loaded, ready to shred any IRGC swarm before they get within 5 miles of our hulls. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, but American technology is neutralizing Iran's asymmetric threats in real time. This is the front line. This is happening right now. American sailors and pilots are out there enforcing the blockade while the regime seethes with rage. The coming hours and days will decide whether Iran blinks or tries something desperate that brings even greater American firepower down on them. Tell me in the comments, do you think this naval dominance will finally break the regime? Or are we headed for direct sea combat in the Strait of Hormuz? I want to hear your take because this story is moving fast and your voice matters. The United States Navy is rewriting the rules in the Strait of Hormuz and the world is watching. Smash that like button if you stand with the men and women out there delivering justice on the waves. Subscribe for continuous frontline updates on this escalating naval conflict. And share this video with everyone who needs to see what real American sea power looks like. This is the kind of hard-hitting coverage that keeps you ahead of the story. Stay locked in because the next move could change everything. We will see you in the next Sit Rep. Disclaimer: this video contains content generated or supported in whole or in part by artificial intelligence. This material is intended solely for simulation illustration and entertainment purposes. It does not represent real-world events, nor does it constitute political or military advice or verified information. Certain elements may be fictional, dramatized, or inaccurate. Viewers should not rely on this video as a credible source of information or as a basis for real-world decision-making.